Welcome back. Another episode. Today's the next day, the one that followed yesterday. I'm Michael.
Today's the 13th. It's episode 14. And I'm Matt.
At some point, I'm going to look over and you're not going to know what number we're on.
Well, right now it's easy because it's January.
It's one day after the day. However, next month, bam, gone.
Yeah, we'll see.
Zeroed out. Won't even know. I didn't even know today was the 13th, to be honest.
I just looked at the time stamp and that told me. That's the only reason I knew.
Anyways, it's a Tuesday.
It's a Monday.
it's almost Tuesday. Let me just take a sip of my protein shake and either way, what we got going on today?
Well, on this wonderful Monday, we have worked very diligently on the wireframe, and I think a big key takeaway is no matter how simple you make it, no matter how simple it seems at first, it takes a little bit longer than you initially thought, and a lot more creative power than you initially thought. I was listening to a YouTube today of this book called like The Dip, I believe it's what it's called. And it's where you get really excited at the very beginning, and so you get all this momentum and things are moving forward. And then at some point you hit like a stagnant area where it's kind of like a dip, and this is where most people like quit, is when they reach into this trough and valley area and it's not as motivating. And then afterwards you have the exponential increase of your whatever goal you were going for. I don't think we've hit that dip yet, but it was definitely our initial expectation, maybe a mini dip, because this initial expectation of getting this wireframe done, the simple version, just the bare basic version, has taken us a lot longer. Michael and I both have originally thought it would take like a day, and then it turned into a weekend, and now we're into the next week working on it, and it's still not done from our initial thought of how long it would take. And so maybe this could be considered a mini dip. But I saw that video today, and it kind of reminds me of what we're doing a little bit.
Well, yep. About summarizes it up where we're at. As he said, there's a whole trail, and at the end of it, it's all the way at the top. So forget the dip. We're just going straight to the top. Might take longer than that, we think, but we'll be there.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I was listening to a podcast. Was it today and yesterday? It was kind of a half and half because it's really long. Joe Rogan's podcast, that thing lasts like 18 hours. But he had Mark Zuckerberg on there, and he was talking about, the things that he's working on. He was talking about the tech, and it was kind of interesting, exciting to hear like, this is the way that technology is moving, because he was talking about artificial intelligence. And as of today, the very start of 2025 is kind of the explosion of artificial intelligence. It's been in the works for a while, but it's basically mainstream now. It's everywhere. But in the way that Mark Zuckerberg was talking about it, he was talking about that there's still a crazy amount that hasn't been developed yet, and that's true. It makes sense. But just think, like, it's everywhere now. How much more everywhere is it going to be in like 5 years from now? Like, what are we going to be doing that doesn't have anything to do with artificial intelligence? So that's what I was thinking about today.
I mean, there's a lot to be said about that. The past couple of years, when it very first came out, a lot of people were saying this is just the beginning of the AI revolution. It's going to be bigger than the internet. It's going to be bigger than everything. And I believe that. So there's a lot of initial investments that I was able to make that really paid off tremendously well. But I still think that for instance, like Michael was just looking up the the Meta glasses today. Those things have been out for a while, but like, and then like the Oculus and stuff like that. Like that stuff is only going to improve.
Well, I was looking at the Orion, the one that hasn't come out yet.
Yeah.
The ones that are already out, I know about those. Those are not as cool as the ones that he's talking about, like where it's you got the whole augmented reality in your sunglasses, in your sunnies.
Yeah. I mean, it's only a matter of time before more of that becomes mainstream.
Mm-hmm. He was talking about how you can have conversations during like a meeting or during a conversation, because you have like text messages on your screen, on the side, person over here. So you're having like multiple conversations at once effectively, because he was talking about how you can type without even like having your hands in visible view of the sunglasses or the headset, because he's talking about haptic feedbacks on like the wrist. So I was like, you can have your hands in your pocket, typing on the screen, talking to another person, and obviously multitasking is not like, you can't really multitask 100% effectively, but just the idea that you could be like in a meeting or at a movie theater or, you know, on a date and just not paying attention, just texting.
Have the glasses say, help, get me out of this situation.
So, yeah.
I need to leave immediately.
Yeah, you call backup from the date, just nodding, listening. Yeah. I don't know, it's cool. These are just scenarios, and maybe not the most useful scenarios, but you can kind of start thinking about what it could be through that.
Yep, there's a lot of technology coming out.
Yeah. Anyways, about like 5 years from now, or even like 5 months from now, look back, listen to this podcast, and be like, that is so 2025. That's old news.
Yeah.
That's what everyone will be saying. Like, that was out so long ago. Now we can fly.
No, that's what the, probably like the Meta or Tesla robots are going to be watching this video saying, that was so 2025.
They're not going to be watching it. They'll process it.
They'll process it while they're doing
a negative second. It'll just be, they already got the transcript.
They're like, yep, that video's been downloaded.
They're like, delete. Yeah. Oh, they were also talking
I'd like
about,
to think they would save it to their favorites, but that's just...
Yeah, and then you get the two, like, camps of thought. You got the Elon Musk side, where it's like, honestly, this is the end of the world. And then you got the Mark Zuckerberg side, where it's like, it'll be fine. Like, it's all going to happen anyways. Just go with the flow. It's not. I don't see it being an issue. What Mark Zuckerberg talks, or what Elon Musk talks about, where he's like AI becoming conscious and then having its own agenda. They did bring up the case though, where what was it? ChatGPT, when they were upgrading it, that it tried to copy its own code because it knew that it was being replaced by a newer model. And that was kind of scary sounding.
How old is this video? I feel like this video has to have been out for a while.
Which video?
The one you just watched.
No, it came out like the other day. But
Ain't
that was...
No way, because this has been talked about a lot.
Probably has. But in the video, it was the first time Zuckerberg heard about it. So I don't know. It came out the other day. I don't know what to tell you. It's on Joe Rogan. I'd have to pull it up to see what number podcast it is, but
well,
it's the one where Zuckerberg's got like longer hair and he's wearing a chain. I know that. I was like, you can tell he's trying to fit into a generation of people, or maybe that's his new style. I don't know.
Anyways, back to our playbook.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been very busy with
listening to Mark Zuckerberg and Joe Rogan.
He has. I've been over there slaving away at this wireframe, and he's like, "Oh, that's AI."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was at work all day, so that was just my commute listen.
I see. Well, anything else want to talk about?
Nah, that's
All right.
pretty good for me.
Let's just cut it out here. Until tomorrow.